Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, John, and here with me today is Brian.
Hey.
And Alex.
Hello.
While you're listening or even watching along, why not head over to MidwestPodcastNetwork.com/support and check out all the various ways you can support us. We have a support store where you can buy t-shirts, koozies, hoodies, and even a donate button if you don't feel like buying anything at all and just want to donate. You can check out the Amazon affiliate link where you can go to Amazon through that link, buy whatever the hell you want. Some of the money comes to us, and you don't pay anything extra for it. It just happens that they give us some, which is pretty rad. And don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher like iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play Podcasts, all those good things. Anywhere you can review us, please do. We appreciate that. It makes us look better. Makes people want to listen to us because they see that other people like us.
Makes us feel good.
Makes us feel good or bad. And if you want to make us feel really bad, you can write some feedback to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com and tell us how terrible we are. Or if you feel like telling us how good we are, you can do that too.
Do that.
And don't forget to add us on Twitter at MGN Podcast and on Instagram at Midwest Game Nerds. Both of those platforms we don't use terribly often, but if we had more interaction from you guys, maybe we would. So just an idea. Today, we've got a little bit of feedback from Tommy we're going to go over and some game news and things that were announced and all kinds of good stuff like that. And then we're going to jump into a review of Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy Episode 1 and the remake of the Sega Master System classic WonderBoy, The Dragon's Trap. But before we jump into that, has anyone played anything else? I don't really know.
Well, before you get into those things, we did have 2 podcast reviews.
Oh, so 2 people did review us. On what platform?
On iTunes.
iTunes. Boom. Okay.
First up is Swift P, and Swift P said, "If you like video games that have no one to talk to, these guys are here for you. They're well versed in games and always keep me laughing." Thank you, Swift P. We are here for you.
We are. We appreciate that.
Yes.
And Josh 190694 says, "At first blush, MGNP is just a group of guys kicking back and having a good time, making the listener feel right at home with the banter. As you get into an episode, however, it's clear that the gang knows their stuff and might just teach you a thing or two about a new release you should keep your eyes on. Whether you're looking for laughs or critical takes, you'll enjoy your time spent here." Thank you, Josh.
Awesome. That's awesome, Josh. That was you guys are so nice. I wish we had more feedback like that because it's good to know that people like what we do.
I'm really happy that it appears like we know things.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it collectively,
it's episode 59 and they haven't noticed yet.
Having you in the group means we have like 300 years worth of gaming experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're basically a vampire.
Yeah, back from my days of throwing
First
spears.
reviewer of Stick and Hoop.
Inventor of chess.
The Grandmaster.
The days before Pong.
So anyways, we really appreciate that feedback, guys. The rates and reviews, that's awesome. If anybody else wants to rate and review us, we will talk about you on here because we love our listeners. So
yes,
we really appreciate that.
And if you notice that we haven't talked about your review, feel free to tweet at us.
Tweet at us.
Hey, you
send
assholes.
us an email. Whatever.
I reviewed you.
You can call us assholes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We're cool with that.
It's just still give us 5 stars.
Yeah, just, assholes with 5 stars.
If you watch us on Twitch, you can actually tell us that we're assholes live.
Actually, if somebody goes in and puts up that we are 5-star assholes in the rate and review, email me and we'll send you something cool.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know what yet, but I'll figure it out.
D Jackson in the Twitch says, "Hey nerds." Hey,
what up, D Jackson?
Hey.
So, what we've been playing?
Oh yeah, a little bit of a lot of things. I have like gaming ADD right now. I think it's in part due to the nice weather that we've been having. Finally.
We've had nice weather, so he hermits himself in his room to play
No,
games.
I don't have the attention span to play too long, and then I just want to like go do something else, and I'll pick up a different game, then go out.
Take your Switch with you.
That kind of makes sense.
That would make sense, actually. Yeah. I pretty much never take it out of the dock. It's pretty sad.
Go to a park and get play with your Joy-Con.
Yeah, I am actually excited
with other kids
to take my Switch with me when I go on vacation in a few weeks.
Did you get a battery pack?
Seattle and Portland.
Nice.
Did you buy a battery pack for it?
Yes, I did.
Tight. Did you get the Anchor one?
I got one of the Anchor ones, yeah.
Mine's like 4,000 milliamp hours or something like that.
I don't need that
It's something
much.
ridiculous.
I wanted one that was
bigger
like
than that.
light enough to travel.
It's like 20,000 milliamp hours.
Yeah, mine's like 26.
It's ridiculous.
I don't even
huge.
know. I haven't tried charging the Switch off of it yet, though. DJ Jackson says, "Have you watched G4?"
Yeah, back in the day,
I think
man.
we've all seen some G4, but
I bought the Uncharted collection.
Yeah, because it was
your tip.
like $8.
$8, yes. I started the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually surprised that it doesn't look that bad still.
It was a gorgeous
It's a
game.
pretty old
It
game
was-
at this point.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't launched, but it was a couple months after launch for the PS3.
I know it's like an HD collection, whatever,
Yeah.
but they didn't really do that much to it from what I understand, right?
I don't.
They
Yeah, I
just,
don't think they like.
it runs at 60 frames per second, which is cool.
They might have like upped the textures a little bit if they could, but
yeah,
I don't know.
But it's very much playable, passable
Yeah.
visually. I don't know. It was cool. I didn't get very far,
Hasn't
and
hooked
then
you
I
yet?
decided to try one of the other games I bought. I picked up both of the newer Wolfenstein games.
Okay.
I started playing the New Order one.
The
I
New
think
Order
that's
and the
what it's
Old
called.
Blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because those were only $5 a piece.
Yeah.
And I had basically been putting off buying those. Like almost bought them on Steam sales probably a dozen times.
Yeah,
in
I've done the
couple
same
years.
thing. I've heard they're awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I played the intro part of New Order, and it was awesome. Like, it's just very spectacular, and it looks cool. Like, it looks like there's actually going to be a decent amount to the story, even though it's a shooter.
A shooter and a Wolfenstein game.
Yeah, but I like that whole alternate history take.
Yeah.
Like, I think when the game starts, it's like 1946 or something, but the World War is still going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
So yeah, but I didn't really play much of that. Excuse me. Went back to Forza Horizon 3 a bit. Yeah.
Which Horizon?
Too many Horizons. That's always fun, whatever. Not much to say about that.
Yep.
Thimbleweed Park I got stuck in, and it made me mad because I really wanted to finish it, but I don't want to cheat. So I'll just like set it down for a while and go back to it, and hopefully it'll just click.
Yeah.
The obscure logic or lack of logic that some of those puzzles have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it, I think.
Right on.
Destiny.
What about you?
We
don't want to get into that.
I really only played. So I played a lot more Horizon Zero Dawn, which maybe we'll get into an email that has to do with that. But other than that, Nintendo did put up a demo of Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is on the Switch.
You said the word Dawn, and that made me remember I did play one match of the open beta of Dawn of War 3 today.
Okay.
But it's just way too hard for me to play without playing the campaign. And you can't play the campaign because it's an open beta.
All right.
I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
This guy has 1,000 units, and I have like 10. But it looks cool.
Cool.
I might pick that up at some point.
Awesome. But yeah, Puyo Puyo Tetris comes out this Tuesday. I think it's a physical and digital release on the Switch. It's also coming to PS4 as well. Basically, there's a few different modes in the game, but it's kind of like Tetris Attack. I don't know if you guys ever played that, but it's two people playing Tetris side by side.
And as you complete
As
lines,
you-
it like dumps other shit on the other person's.
Yeah, when you get a
box.
Tetris, it will drop a bunch of lines.
That
on
sounds
the other person's.
infuriating.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know if I can play that game.
The other thing about this game is that you can also play a round of Puyo Puyo, or you can make it so that one person's playing Puyo Puyo and the other person's playing
What the hell's
Tetris.
Puyo
Interesting.
Puyo?
Or you can make it so that you both flip back and forth constantly to two different game boards.
That would drive me insane.
It's really hard. I beat the computer once when we were both just playing Tetris, and that was it. Because whenever you try, like, the Puyo Puyo is kind of like it's almost like a Dr. Mario with you have to connect 4 of them and then they disappear,
yeah.
and there's different colored jelly beans basically. And
I wish the camera could see the random people that walk by outside.
Yeah, they're like,
We
what
should-
the hell
we
are
should
those
put a
people doing?
But the white balance is so like jacked up on there.
I'll just do a time lapse of the people that walk by with
Yeah,
the GoPro.
use the
GoPro
Let's
for
do
that.
All right. But no, Puyo Puyo Tetris looks really cool. I'm probably gonna pick it up just to have something more to play on the Switch, and it's fun. I think it would be fun for us to sit down and play it on a stream.
How much is it?
I think it's gonna be $40.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I'll double check. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I've been playing, other than the games that we're going to talk about today. So.
Right on.
I did play more Zelda too.
Zelda 2? Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, like last week
The original Zelda 2.
as well.
No, it's $29.99. Excuse me. Maybe that's digital only. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Or maybe that's on the Switch. It's $39.99, and on PlayStation 4, it's $29.99, which really sucks. And that's something we could talk about. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's all I've been
Why
playing.
do I have to pay more for what's essentially a lesser version?
Yeah. I don't know.
They're updating Bomberman.
I saw
You
that.
got rid of yours.
I
didn't
did.
you?
I traded it in, but
Good.
It's
I
not
don't
an
wanna
update
play
worth
that game ever again.
keeping the game for. As far as I'm
I've heard
concerned,
it's correcting a lot of people's issues. Like apparently they boosted up the frame rate a little bit, so it doesn't feel quite. And I think they adjusted the controls too. But then they're also adding in characters from other games,
like
right?
Simon Belmont.
Yeah,
and
there's
Pyramid Head
that's
from
kinda
Silent
cool.
Hill.
Belmont Bomber and like those kinds of
Yeah.
things. So that's
I
fun.
would like to play as Pyramid Head.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
What's his actual name?
I don't think Mr. Pyramid Head.
Mr. Pyramid.
The third?
Sir Pyramid Head the third.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Pyramid.
Yeah. I haven't really played anything else, to be honest with you. I've played a little more Has Been Heroes. I deleted Fire Emblem off my phone because I was just like,
yeah,
it's
I
taking
haven't
up
touched
space.
it.
This is the biggest app on my phone. It's kind of
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they download those.
It was like half a gig almost.
I don't even know what's on there. What it's actually downloading.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that's it. Played some Destiny, like Brian mentioned at the very end of his little spiel. But that's about it.
Cool.
Nothing else. So, yeah, we got some game news.
Do you want to do Tom's email?
Oh, yeah. Let's do Tom's email
let's not
first.
forget again.
Let's not forget
All right.
for the second time.
This is Tom's email. Subject line: hotchristiansingles.exe.
Best subject line ever,
Yes.
by
Yeah.
the way.
Tom says, "Hello, nerds. Sorry about the subject name. It was funny at the time, and I like to joke around. Here's a mind bender for you. If you never opened this email and read it, then who am I talking to?" It's a good question. You'll have to go to the Midwest Philosophy Nerds podcast to talk
Yes.
about
We
that
should start that, actually.
Moving on, a couple episodes back, episode 56, you guys were quite enthusiastic about Horizon Zero Dawn. I ended up buying it because of your review. The first hour or so of the game was amazing, as all the reviewers say it is. I was engrossed in the story, cared about the characters. However, after Aloy's tragic bat mitzvah, all of those feelings went away. As soon as I was allowed to explore another open world, I became more and more disappointed. It's just another Far Cry game. I mentioned in a previous email that I'm a sucker for these types of games. It appears this isn't the case anymore. If the gameplay is this derivative, then I assume the story will be too. Let me guess. Aloy is special, quote-unquote special somehow, and only she can get the MacGuffin to the ancient place, so the blue light in the sky goes away and an army of arbitrary robots shuts off all at the same time. Also, someone you trust will betray you, and the good guy is actually the bad guy, and your mom is actually Father from Fallout 4. And what are we? Some kind of Horizon Zero Dawn squad and primer for sequels. I know I'm being a negative Nancy, but I can't control my disappointment. There isn't much motivation for me continuing this game. It seems that Brian likes this game the most. That being my observation, I need you to try and convince me to play this game more. Please tell me that there's a great thing that is really fun and I should totally keep playing so that I get to that part. I've only put about $4 out of $60 of gameplay, $4 out of $60 of playtime into it, and I don't like returning products. Show me the path of righteousness so that I can be part of some kind of Horizon Zero Dawn squad. So there's a little bit more. I'll come back to that after we talk about Horizon a little bit. I will say that the reason I care more about this than any other Far Cry game that I've ever played is that I feel like the story is actually worth paying attention to.
Okay.
Like that's what's really hooking me. And then the other thing is it's forcing me to play differently. Because I'm normally the guy that pot shots arrows in from a long distance. And if you play this game that way, I'm going to be playing it for 4,000 hours.
No.
Yeah. So the idea that I need to get in there and use these traps in a way that is actually beneficial and like plan that out. Like I did my first cauldron.
Yeah.
The first cauldron that I did, the idea that like you essentially get to this point where you have to face a big robot that you probably haven't seen before
and
the first time you run into it.
Stealth.
Yeah, you absolutely cannot use stealth, but you can choose when to activate the monster. Mm-hmm. Means that you get to go through and set up your traps the way that you want to deal with or think you want to try to deal with the monster. And that to me was like a really interesting and compelling way to kind of try to teach me how to best use the traps that I had to my advantage.
Was that the Bellowback one?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest one, in my opinion.
I didn't have that hard of a time with it once I realized that I needed to set up traps.
Well, that's what made it so hard for me, is I just didn't really figure that out.
I died the first time, and then I was like, maybe I should use these traps that this entire game is about. And then I kind of went through with that. So those two things combined have really I've kind of bought into it more, and really the only reason I haven't played it is because I wanted to play a few other things to talk about on the show today. So, I don't. Maybe it's because I haven't played that many Far Cry games through to the end, but to me, this still feels fresh enough that it's something that I want to see through. Brian, as somebody who's finished the game, what would you say to Tom?
I feel like the only time it really, really feels like Far Cry too much is like if you do the optional bandit camp missions.
Yeah.
That is like straight up Far Cry.
It's just outposts in Far Cry. Yeah.
But fortunately, there's not too many of those in the game. That's one thing I like about it. Like, it is open like Far Cry, and it points out different activities to do and stuff, but there's not too many of any one activity.
Yeah.
You don't ever feel like you're just doing the same shit over and over again. And there's enough variety in between the things. And like the actual combat itself is interesting, and there's a lot to it, way more than playing a Far Cry game. As far as the story goes, I would say you're not too far off, but the way you described it, could be any game or any movie.
Yeah.
It's just like typical hero's journey kind of shit. But there is a lot more to the backstory of the game than I think you realize at first.
I'm mostly intrigued by the idea of like figuring out where I might be in our world compared to like...
If you pay attention, you can figure it out very quickly in the game, actually. Okay. But you have to be paying attention.
I haven't been paying attention.
One of the vantage points will straight up tell you where you're at. And then as you explore more, it's interesting because you're trying to see like, oh, how does this fit into the real world? This geographically, and it's super cool. I think that's like the best part about the game, though, is just learning about what Project Zero Dawn was and like how you got to that, how the world got to that point.
I'm maybe like almost halfway through the game, and I didn't even know there was a Project Zero Dawn.
Spoiler alert.
But no. I'm now even more intrigued. So I'm okay with that.
Well, I will say, like, the game tries to lead you to believe that the backstory isn't all that complicated when it actually is more so.
Okay.
Like, at one point I was like, oh man, is it really going in this direction? This is just so generic, but it ends up being so much better than that.
All right.
I don't know, Tom, you should stick with it. And honestly, I can understand where you'd get a little
fatigued.
Yeah, with the open world thing, like right after the proving part that you're talking about playing through. But if you just like follow the story and actually let it take you to Meridian, the game opens up in like a more spectacular way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really feel like Far Cry.
John, do you have any thoughts? You haven't really played anymore?
No, and I kind of feel a lot like Tom does in his email that it's just it seems like a lot of the same, and I haven't gotten very far at all, just because again I've been having a serious amount of like game ADD right now.
Me too.
And I'm not finding anything to really hook me, not since Neo at least, and then Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if those two games just set the bar so high for everything else right now that it's just nothing can grab it.
Yeah.
But I do want to go back and keep playing it because I like the idea of the game and I want to know more about what's going on. So the story is intriguing enough for me, but I just need to actually sit down and do it. And I feel like on top of the normal amount of game ADD I have, I don't have a lot of other time.
Yeah.
So what time I do have, I'm just playing things that I know I'll enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, as Brian said, Tom, I think it would be most beneficial for you if you want to give this game like another try to just mainline for a little bit, and maybe you'll find yourself wandering off the beaten path a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe you'll just mainline the story and you'll get through it, and that'll be your time with the game.
I definitely think going and doing the first Cauldron will kind of like open up your eyes as to what is out there with this game too.
That's a good idea too. So, you can pick up the side quests as you go on, but you don't have to dedicate yourself to one until you find one that talks about a cauldron, I would say. But it's obviously you don't need to play a game that you're not enjoying.
Right.
But maybe you put this one away for a little while, and after you've kind of forgotten Far Cry and you're ready for another open world or something like that, come back and give it another try. But I would hope you'd be able to get a little bit more than the $4 out of $60 of playtime.
Yeah.
I think,
I feel like I got more than $60 out of it easily.
Yeah. So you guys average out.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I'll give you some of my money that I got.
That's not how this works.
So other than the Horizon stuff, Tom also says, now for the Steam report. Guys, I think I have a problem. I can't stop buying Steam games. They're so cheap and fun. 2 of my recent favorites are Mountain Blade Warband and Grim Dawn. Mountain Blade is like Rome Total War, but you control your own character that you level up. The combat is similar to Chivalry, and there isn't a story. The only thing you're expected to do is build an army so that you don't get smoked all the time. If there was a Dogma 95 for video games, Mountain Blade would be the prime example. I'd strongly recommend it. All right. Then he says, Grim Dawn is pretty much Diablo 3. However, Grim Dawn has more combat depth, doesn't take up 500 gigabytes of memory, doesn't require 32 gigabytes of RAM, and only costs $12 on the Steam sale.
Damn.
He says, I'm exaggerating, but I have a $300 laptop that can't handle big games. Therefore, this game is pretty awesome for me. That's it for now. Keep up the great work. Yeah, I've seen Grim Dawn, and I wanted to check it out. It looked pretty sweet.
I think it's on my wish list.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think it's on mine, too.
I don't think I knew about it until I read his email.
I might actually own it from a Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
You could say that about every indie game on the PC. But anyway, Tom, thank you for writing in. Sorry it took a while to get to your email.
Man. We
but
really appreciate it.
We absolutely do. Hopefully, we get you back on the Horizon Squad at some point. But, even if you're not on the Horizon Squad, it's okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
You do you, Tom.
You do you. That being said,
yeah,
we have a bunch of news things.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. Do you want to start with Nintendo Direct?
Sure.
All right. So Nintendo Direct happened. I don't remember what day it was.
It was last week.
The 13th. So like
2 weeks ago.
A couple days after our last episode. They announced a ton of 3DS games. I don't know if anybody really wants us to go over that because we don't tend to cover a ton of 3DS stuff.
Don't they have another system that's portable that they should have a ton of games
for?
Well,
they do. There's a new Pikmin game coming for 3DS.
New Pikmin.
And then the other one that I would maybe care about is RPG Maker FES.
And the new Monster Hunter game looked all right.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like Pokemon with rideable monsters.
That's cool. I'm kind of holding out for like a Switch Monster Hunter.
And Miitopia looked kind of cool, which is...
It's like an RPG.
It's a JRPG that's played with the Mii.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sweet.
So there's some 3DS stuff going on if you still want to play it.
And then they had like a big release of ARMS, which I kind of want to talk about because ARMS is a game that when they announced the Switch and they showed it off, I was like, that looks dumb. And I was like, I don't know if I'll ever play that.
Yeah.
But now I watched a couple of competitive dudes, like some of the like Street Fighter guys that play competitively, sit down and play ARMS, and I was like, holy shit, this looks awesome.
Were they motion controlling it or were they pro controlling it?
They looked like they were, I think they were motion controlling it, but they weren't using very large actions. It was like swift, like quick moves, like but it looks cool. And they announced like a new character and how you can swap the different types of arms. Like there's all kinds of elemental arms that like don't necessarily cancel each other out, but like fire has like burn over time. The ice one I think slows you down a little bit. They've got an electric one that shocks you and shit. Like each arm type has like some kind of elemental aspect to it.
Can you have legs for arms?
No.
Damn.
Maybe in some DLC.
And there was kind of like a strong medium,
heavy,
light.
There's the strong, medium, light sort of attribute to them, and the heavy one is like the one that the mummy comes like stock with, I guess. The mummy dude, big ass mummy guy.
They also showed off a ramen girl.
Yeah, the ramen chick who has noodles for arms, which is kind of funny.
The game has a lot of character.
Yeah, it's bright and it looks pretty. So
It's starting to feel a little more Splatoon to me. Like I feel like people are going to get their hands on arms and really
That's
get
a good
into
place
the
for
meat
hands.
of it. Like I think there will be. I think this game is going to find a group of people. I don't know if we're in that group of people.
I think this is going to be Nintendo's bigger jab at having a competitive multiplayer game. A nice uppercut. It's their uppercut into the
Okay, now you're trying too
competitive.
hard.
Yeah, this game is really a haymaker into the
Yes.
esports movement.
Yep.
Anyway.
They're just trying to get their foot in the door.
Getting an arm up on the competition.
Yeah. So
it's coming
it looks
Not a
really
leg
cool.
up.
It's coming in June, I think.
June 18th, I think, with alongside some neon yellow Joy-Con.
Which looked really sweet, by the way.
Yeah.
I might actually buy those as my second set of Joy-Con.
They're pretty cool. They look like tennis ball.
Yeah.
But it
It looks like a cool game. And this is coming from someone who originally thought that looks dumb as hell when I first saw it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into it now.
Yeah.
So, plus I think like just having, again, the Switch being portable, it might be fun to like actually like take that
it
somewhere
out.
and like play with people.
Yeah.
I don't know how the split screen is going to work with that or if it will or
Yeah.
what. Like who knows?
We'll have to try that out when we get our hands on our.
Yeah. And then they brought out the Ultra Street Fighter 2, which is Street Fighter
2 again.
from like 1992.
There's the first person mode that looks terrible.
Yeah, where you
What?
can just sit there and like shoot fireballs at each other.
Yeah.
It's Hadouken.
Also, you can if
Is
you're
that with
playing.
motion controls?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
have
I
no
want to
clue.
do the action of throwing.
You can
fireballs at
also,
people.
if you're playing in tablet mode, you can tap the screen for combos.
That's
So,
really cheap.
Street Fighter that plays itself.
Awesome.
What's the point? They showed off Minecraft Nintendo Switch Edition. I have yet to ever play Minecraft.
I am
at
in
all.
that boat, oddly enough. I've played all the 2D Minecraft knockoffs
Terrarias.
that you could
and-
think of. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm a little interested in just finally jumping into it and getting this because I like the idea of being able to play it portably.
If you guys both get it, I will get it. And
Will
then
we
will
even
have
be able to play together
pretty-
with the extremely limited multiplayer support?
I would
Sure-
hope so.
I'm sure we can get Ricky to get it too.
If
Oh,
we
yeah,
can play together,
'cause
we
he was-
should get it.
He
He
has
was
the Switch,
really
yeah.
he was really into Terraria.
Nick and Gojo have some really good Minecraft stories about like basically when it came out for Xbox, they were playing one day and they both realized they were getting really into it, and then when the game auto saved at that point in time, it would like pause the game. And essentially they were playing for like 20-30 minutes straight, and then at one point it auto saved and they both went and like took a breath because they realized they were like not breathing as they were just doing their stuff. But Gojo makes we should make video. We should do MTV Cribs in Minecraft for Gojo. Because he's got some really fantastic
That's
creations.
ridiculous.
I'm sure I would if I actually put time into it.
At one point, he had a city. It was a floating city that you had to swim up a waterfall to get to this big island. That was in the sky.
Gojopolis, right? I think he told.
Well,
talked about
Gojopolis
this
is the
before.
overall, but that was I think that was Bluffton. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
Crazy.
Gojo.
Yeah, I don't understand how I've never played it. Considering how obsessed I was with Lego stuff when I was
Well,
a kid.
and it's
Yeah.
like it's a big deal. I mean, this is a game that like
Keeps making it prints money.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind
That
of
was-
insane.
a very good move on Microsoft's part, purchasing
Yeah.
that property.
Totally. No, I what I
Well,
like
and
most.
then making it available on every platform they
Yeah.
possibly can. I mean, way to go for real.
I just like the
That's probably what's floating Scorpio.
The Switch is going to actually.
yeah.
I just
fund
like
it.
the exploration of Minecraft. Going in and finding like a cave system to explore is
Yeah,
my
oh,
favorite
yeah.
part about that game. I don't care about building
I played
stuff.
a lot of Starbound, and that was like a big part of it.
Yeah.
You just get down so deep,
Yep.
like you wouldn't even know, like how long it would take to get to the surface anymore.
Yeah.
and you could actually get to like the core basically, where
Yeah.
it'd just be lava.
Yeah, there's lava. Yeah, you can dig down far enough to get to lava and bedrock and Minecraft.
But I
as well,
actually
so.
liked building. My problem with Starbound is that I was playing it in early access at the time, and they would wipe stuff out occasionally.
Oh, that sucks.
Like one time I built this amazing library and all this cool stuff for my base,
Yeah.
and then next day it was wiped out.
That sucks.
I can't handle that anymore.
No. They don't do that in Minecraft anymore, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested in possibly jumping on that train.
All right.
What else? Some more Neo Geo games were announced. I don't have a list of those.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm not buying them. Sonic Forces is
Somebody
coming out.
might care.
New 3D Sonic game. It's going to be out around Christmas time, which is cool because the new Sonic game looks really good.
Sonic Mania is the one that's being made like an old school Sonic game.
Yes.
I'm excited for that one.
That I would like to play.
Yeah.
But that's not the one that's coming to Switch? Or is
No,
that
they're
one
both coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Project Mikuru, I think is how it's pronounced. I don't really know.
It's like a weird Bomberman ground pound game.
Bomberman / Othello
Yeah.
looking.
I don't want to play Othello.
Played with a Mii, like your Mii character in like a really awesome looking Halo spacesuit sort of thing.
Yeah.
Tron-ish Halo spacesuit. It just looks like something that's going to make people angry.
Yeah. Probably.
So, about as angry as the new version of Monopoly that's coming out for the Switch.
Thanks, Ubisoft.
Yeah, that makes really good use of the HD Rumble, which, what the fuck?
Oh, to roll die?
I guess. You're just going to see a bunch of little kids going like this.
That's what the milking
The world
game's
needs
for.
more of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's about it.
Yeah, that's out Tuesday. Mario Kart's out Friday.
Getting Mario Kart, yeah.
Was there anything else?
Yeah, Payday 2 is coming out for Switch.
Payday 2's coming.
Which is weird because that game is really old at this point.
It's strange. I would be curious to see if there's any like weird offline single screen play for that, because that's not typically a Payday thing to do.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure what to expect with that one.
Yeah.
I think if I picked that up again, like I actually own it for PC, but I would maybe get like the PS4 version.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like a Switch
Zach
game
and
to me.
Gojo and Willie, and they can play it all the time.
That's why.
So. But yeah, no, I think that's mostly it on the Switch stuff. They announced a lot. Disgaea 5 Complete is coming, which was a launch title in Japan.
The standalone Switch dock is that's coming out too. It's going to be out May 19th through the Nintendo Store or participating retailers. Yeah. Namco is bringing a bunch of classic arcade games. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because Namco used to be like the fucking boss of arcade games back in the day. And they announced a new Splatoon mode called, I don't know, what's it called? Salmon?
Oh, isn't there? There's like a co-op mode, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
There's like a horde mode.
Yeah.
It's like a co-op horde mode kind of thing. And then there's a new game called Kamiko coming that looks kind of like a Hyper Light Drifter-ish game. It's only $5. It comes out like at the end of this month.
Yeah.
So I'm going to definitely pick that up.
Right on.
And then WonderBoy also came out right after the Direct. So
yeah, that was the Nintendo Direct. Next up, Activision announced Call of Duty World War II. I don't care.
Big surprise.
Yeah, full reveal this week.
They're just looking to jump on the train of Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Well, I think where else were they going to go after Infinite?
We'll see, though. Like, I haven't played a World War II game in a long time, so I might pick it up. I didn't buy the last COD, and I think that was the first one I didn't buy.
Is sad because it's apparently got the best story of like.
Yeah.
That's what intrigues me about this one is hopefully it'll have a good campaign.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Otherwise, like I have zero interest in playing it because I'm just don't care about those games anymore.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild has had its first 100% speed run, and it took about 49 hours.
Jesus.
To 100% that game.
All
which
900 Korok seeds.
I can't even imagine doing that in I mean, I finished the game with 85 plus hours and only had 24.2% of the game done.
I finished the game after 90 hours, completing all of the shrines, and I only had 31% of the game finished, according to the...
That's just insane to me.
Yeah.
What else here? Okay, so Bandai Namco, who are known for being... I think they're the publishers of the Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
They are making a new hardcore vampire RPG called Code Vein. Nothing has really been shown other than like a quick teaser trailer that's mostly cartoon cutscenes.
And I think it said "Prepare to Dine."
Yes.
At the end of
Prepare to Dine.
Yeah, so people were like, "This better be a Souls thing."
I think that's kind of where they're headed with it.
Yeah.
I'm expecting something along the art style of Bloodborne, which would be awesome for a vampire game, I think. But
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, again,
It
not
seemed-
much has been announced.
I feel
other
like
than-
I saw like something on it that seemed a little more like anime-ish.
Well, the cutscenes were anime. Like
Okay.
the teaser trailer was all kind of in an anime vein, and it's kind of cool, but it doesn't really it doesn't show you anything. It's just
Yeah.
a teaser.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to finding out more about this game because I like the Souls games and I like vampires in a not stupid way, like
Yeah.
Twilight. I like real vampires, not those fake shitty vampires. So I'm kind of
Not
pumped to see where this goes.
Romantic teen vampires.
Correct, not romantic teen vampires.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm interested to look into it more. It looks pretty rad. Sounds like a good idea to me. What else? Star Wars Celebration took place this past week.
Yep.
Which is
Yeah.
pretty exciting. We got a new trailer for The Last Jedi, which was sweet. Although I didn't really. I mean, it was all right. I don't understand why everybody on the internet was just like, "This is the greatest trailer ever," because it really wasn't.
Well, it wasn't the
Mhm.
greatest trailer ever, but I did watch it 4 times in a row.
yeah.
I didn't watch it.
It was short.
Did you tear up at all?
No,
No.
The guy
I got
from Slash Film
goosebumps.
cried, so
I
course.
did get goosebumps.
But they also announced Star Wars Battlefront 2.
yep.
Which is sweet. It's going to come out on November 17th, 2017 on all platforms except for Switch.
Did you watch the trailer for that? The
Yeah.
full trailer?
The
It looks-
longer
That
one.
one was cool.
I haven't watched it yet, but
You
I've
should
heard
watch
good
it.
things about it.
I'm pretty excited that it'll actually have a campaign.
Yes, it does
Yeah.
have a single player campaign and it follows a TIE fighter pilot, which is kind of interesting because they're
Yes.
taking you and putting you in the enemy's role.
She's part of the Inferno Squad, I think is what they said, right?
I don't recall
Something like that.
personally. But
Yeah.
yeah, it takes, what does it say here? Battlefront 2 will take its cues from the aftermath of the Battle of Endor, beginning with the explosion of the second Death Star in 83's Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, and apparently some of the characters you can play with in the multiplayer, they're going to span from the prequels through the new stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool.
Yep.
And I did hear there's murmurs of some kind of VR support as well, but there's nothing concrete.
Probably another 5-minute bullshit experience that's a waste of
You
time.
get to fly
We'll
a
see.
TIE fighter this time.
We'll see. Maybe they'll make an online mode. That's
You know what?
Because there's the vehicle, like the starfighting modes.
I
if
just
you
thought
could
about
combine doing the VR stuff and like fly the TIE fighters and the X-Wings in a normal battle, that would be fucking
That would
awesome.
be pretty rad. If they
But I
figured out how
highly
to do
doubt they're
that.
going to do something like that. That would be the shit. That would put that game, like, everyone on who bought the first Battlefield or Battlefront, and anybody who played the VR experience would buy that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Play
want to
it.
do in VR that would probably result in me throwing up, and anybody who tried it is do the speeder bike thing on Endor.
That would be
Jesus.
sick. That would be so awesome.
Vomit
Yeah.
Comet for sure.
Or pod racing. You can do pod racing.
Pod racing
in
would be
VR.
awesome. They
Yeah.
could just
The
make
pod
a whole,
racer game for 64
That
was
was
pretty good.
cool.
It was
They
a pretty
should-
good game.
They should make a new pod racing game, but they should just make it a VR game.
That'd
Yeah.
be pretty good.
I'd be down with that. As long as Jake Lloyd isn't in it. Dear God, no.
No,
You can even
put
put
him
Jar
in it.
Jar Binks in it. Just don't put Jake Lloyd in it.
Oh, I mean, he's
Poor
not busy.
kid.
I think he got arrested a couple months ago.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
pretty
doubt it.
certain that whole experience ruined his life.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Blame George Lucas, not us, dude. It's his fault. Next up, NES Classic Edition has been discontinued. What the fuck, Nintendo?
Yeah,
Clearly, you've learned nothing.
but there's a Super Nintendo one coming.
But that's not the point. Everyone
but it's going
wants
to be
this
stupidly
one.
limited, and
That's
you're not going to be able to
that's
get
my
one.
problem. Yeah,
Like I guess I get it if they're all like, we didn't expect it to sell so much, and it was only going to be limited for a while anyway. It's like, okay, fine, but
Yeah, the direct quote was that Nintendo NES Classic Edition wasn't intended to be ongoing long-term product. However, due to high demand, we did add extra shipments to our original plans.
sweet, bro.
Cool.
but I mean, it can't be that difficult to produce.
No,
So why
no,
not
it's just a
make
Raspberry
more.
Pi.
it cost them like $10 to do it.
$10?
They make like $50 profit off of each of these things, and they can't make more of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be super pissed if they do the Super Nintendo one and there's like 5 of them.
That's what it's gonna be. I don't know why you'd expect anything different. They couldn't rise to meet the demand of this one currently. Like 3 months later, 4 months later.
It's just so dumb because then it's just a bunch of people on eBay that hoard them and make all the profit off of them instead of fucking Nintendo.
See, Nintendo's all about the sure bet. They're like, we want to sell 100% of these things. They're like, and when we do that, we want to make a profit off of it. Same thing with the Switch, the Wii U, the Wii, the 3DS, and like all of their hardware. They have never taken a hit on the hardware at launch. Never. Period. So the idea that they're going to sit there and make 10 of these things and be like, we'll see if these sell. And then they all do. And they're like, all right, let's make like 20 this time.
Yeah.
Like, all right. It's not smart. They can, but it's certainly close to the chest.
No, I mean, it's smart in the sense that they're not going to flood the market with having a bunch of these things sit on shelves for months after everybody has one. Like they're letting the demand.
But nobody has one.
Nobody has one.
One person, and I haven't even seen it in person.
Yeah,
like,
I've never seen
one.
I mean, I guess the thing is,
how many did they release?
I don't think the numbers are really out there, but
5.
At the end of the day, if you can't buy more games for the thing, I get that they don't want to be like, all right, everybody's got one, so they're never going to buy a Rev 2 or something like that. Like, there's some weird logic in there somewhere that kind of makes it make sense, but I don't like it, and it's pretty dumb. So, I don't know.
That's not right.
I don't even. It's not worth looking up because I don't think you're going to get reliable numbers. Out of anybody.
I don't think so either. I'm not even going to look into it. Anyways, I get
whatever,
it.
Nintendo.
But
I'm not going to buy one. I'm not going to try to buy the Super Nintendo one. I don't care anymore.
I'll buy the GameCube one if Metroid Prime's on it.
They're never going to make a GameCube.
Nobody liked the GameCube except us. Anyways, so
I liked the GameCube, but I didn't own one.
That's pretty much all of the actual news, unless you had.
Yeah,
you
I've got a couple quick hits that I can hit here. Refunds have started popping up on Xbox Live. It's very similar to the Steam system where you have 14 days to return the game and you can only have played under 2 hours of it to get the refund. Nice to see that kind of thing making it to the digital realm since, buying digital games kind of throws away a lot of the rights that people
Microsoft.
normally have of buying like a retail game you can sell back. So that's nice. Hopefully it forces Sony to do something similar.
Probably not.
We'll see. The Jackbox Party Pack 4 was announced today at C2E2.
Yay.
We love Jackbox.
So much fun.
Fibbage 3 is the only game that's been announced for it so far.
That's the only one that they just need
It's
to
the only one that really matters.
Yeah.
The other ones are surprisingly a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that is the best
If
one.
they just released Fibbage as like its own standalone game and have it be 3 to 4 times the size that it currently is, I think that like I would pay the same amount of money for the Jackbox Party Packs I would for just Fibbage.
Well, Jackbox Party Pack 3 didn't have Fibbage in it. It did have Quiplash, which also became like a pretty steady
one's a lot
thing.
of fun.
But I wonder if they saw a decrease in sales. I still haven't bought Jackbox Party Pack 3, so I wonder if people are like, oh, there's no Fibbage in this one.
That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't get it. I saw it was coming, and then I saw that it wasn't going to have Fibbage, and I was like, nah.
I do want to pick it up at some point, but no, that's all right.
I'll just wait till.
Because how sweet would it be to go to a bar?
Now.
You go to a bar and patch into the Wi-Fi and sit there and drink with your friends and play Fibbage at the bar.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Well, and the cool thing about Fibbage 3, they're going to make it so that the audience can vote on a 10th lie to put into the pool.
Awesome.
So
it'll be worth playing on Twitch.
There's now in Jackbox from Jackbox Party Pack 2 on.
You could have spectators.
You could have spectators. So like if you're playing it on a stream or there's more people than could play the game,
they can join the room and play with you and watch along. They can vote for the best lie, so they can be like the thumbs up cup.
So they'll give you, and in some games it'll give like that person points if their thing gets the audience vote. So
we'll definitely have to play that when it comes out.
Absolutely.
And have people watch us.
Uh-huh.
All 2 of you.
Everybody's Golf, the next Hot Shots Golf, the only one that will be out for PS4 so far, is coming on August 29th for $39.99.
Probably gonna buy that.
It's a great series, and unless Nintendo gets a Mario Golf out there,
Oh yeah, it'd be so good.
yeah. But
Luigi's got a mean backswing.
it's that'll definitely pass the time until they get one out for the Switch. So that's cool. And then finally, Summer Games Done Quick 2017 starts July 2nd. It's just Sunday at 1 p.m. I pulled 4 of the runs that are on the schedule. The whole schedule is posted right now. You can go check it out. But here's the things that are coming up. 36-minute run of Symphony of the Night.
What?
With no glitches.
What?
They're not going to use any glitches to beat the game.
Oh, now you're interested.
How? Dude, I have like hundreds of hours in that game. How is that possible?
They're doing an hour and 27-minute run of Doom 2016 where they get all the secrets.
Holy shit.
Yep. There's an hour and 20-minute Link to the Past run with no sword, but they're going to finish all the dungeons.
Wait, how fast?
An hour and 20 minutes.
Jesus.
They're going to beat the entire game without using their sword at all
What the hell?
in 80 minutes.
That's awesome.
Along the lines of this,
Let me do the last one. In an hour and 40 minutes, somebody's going to beat Dark Souls 3 with all the bosses.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Using the Rock Band drum set.
That's
what I really want to
Blindfolded.
that would be awesome. So far, there's no announcement of what controller will be used, but I assume it's a normal controller.
Right.
But still, it's an hour and 40 minutes.
I mean, I
think it also has the DLC.
That's the thing.
first
That's the
DLC
thing
pack.
with any of those Souls games is once you know the way through like an area, it's a fucking breeze. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
'cause everything-
unless you screw up a lot like me.
Yeah.
The only thing
But
that
still.
ever threw me off was when something would glitch.
I feel like if you're not
Yeah.
spending the time to spend the souls to level up, like if you're not grinding that game, the boss fights alone, even if you play perfectly, are going to take you a long time. So the fact that it's going to take them an hour and 40 minutes is insane. to me.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
I read very recently about somebody beating Diablo 2 without attacking anything.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
posted.
Just
That was
crazy.
an article in Kotaku.
Yeah. They what they did is they exploited the Thorns skill or something. I think they like that the Paladin or whatever the hell it is has. I think that's what it was. Something like that.
That's awesome.
The Thorns skill, it's like if anything attacks you,
You do damage
you
to
do
it.
damage back.
That's awesome.
And they somehow beat the whole game that way.
So they just healed and used that.
Yeah. But I guess part of that relies on getting a specific thing to drop
Yeah.
in one of the levels. And
Yeah.
if you don't get it, then you're screwed and you have to start over, basically.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
So Summer Games Done Quick coming July 2nd. Check it out. I'm sure that I will check out a few of the runs. And especially I think I have the 3rd and the 4th off. So maybe I'll get to watch more of it than I normally do. And it'll be awesome. And yeah.
All right, last bit.
Okay.
Kotaku had an article called the 12 best games for PlayStation 4.
Okay.
I want to know if you guys think they're the best games
All
for
right.
PlayStation 4.
Let's hear it.
All right, ready? This isn't in any particular order.
Okay.
Horizon
The
Zero
Order,
Dawn.
1886.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Inside.
I have to hear more.
Yeah.
The Witness.
Yes.
All right.
Uncharted 4, Thief's End.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, but I haven't watched or played it yet. so-
Rocket League.
Yeah.
The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Hitman.
I don't know.
Overwatch.
No.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
Yeah.
All right.
Persona 5.
Don't know.
Probably,
Probably.
but I don't know.
And the final one is The Last of Us Remastered.
Yeah.
It's a weird list.
Right?
There's a lot more multi-platform stuff on there than I kind of figured there would be, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like if I was making a best of PlayStation 4 list, it would have mostly games that you wouldn't be able to
Exclusives.
get
Like
Yeah.
Neo,
anywhere
maybe.
else. Even like The Last of Us, it's probably the preferred way to play The Last of Us, but to me that's still a PlayStation 3 game because that's where I played it.
Right.
You know?
No, I just thought it was a really
So-
interesting list of games.
It's a bunch of really great games.
I
If
do
you
feel
don't
like
have any
all
way
of
to
those
play
games
any
are
of those,
games people should play.
yes.
I mean, I don't know if out of all the games on PlayStation, I don't know if Inside is one of 12 of the most like need to play games, but I don't know.
It's great, but
It's cool, yeah. That whole ending is still just, I can still think about it sometimes. It's so weird.
All right. That's it
all right.
for news.
Reviews.
Let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So, did you guys play at all?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I thought about picking, was it like $5?
Yeah, $5
episode?
you can get the first chapter, and then you can pay the $20 to get the rest of them when they get released.
Okay. Yeah, I might do that.
But yeah, it's a Telltale game. It's adventure style, Telltale adventure style, essentially, just like The Walking Dead, basically kind of.
Right. So newer Telltale adventure style,
yeah.
Very puzzle light, mostly
Yes.
just based on making decisions and
Yes.
following the story.
Uh-huh.
Which is still fun.
Yeah.
I love the Walking Dead ones.
Yeah, and I played through, I have not completed any of them. I've played through at least one episode of Game of Thrones and the first season of The Walking Dead.
The first season was, yeah.
And I liked it a lot. I just never went back to it for some reason.
It was so sad.
So
it was good though.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I should say I played it on PlayStation 4. I wanted to play it on PC, but they're not selling the first episode individually on PC.
Not through Steam, but they probably do through like the Telltale site.
There's a Telltale site?
Yeah.
Everything is a website nowadays.
I just assumed that it was only.
They used to sell their own games.
I assumed
through
it was
their site.
It was anyway, whatever. So maybe you can get it that way. But PlayStation 4 Pro, the engine has still got a little bit of jank to it because it's still the same engine
They
as
need
The
a new
Walking Dead.
engine.
They absolutely do. I've heard from reading. There's a very good Waypoint article about why and how the Telltale engine works and why they're still having issues with it, because essentially you need to hand animate everything that occurs on the screen. There's no physics in their engine whatsoever. So if something falls to the ground, that is somebody creating that object and making it fall to the ground.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah. It's got to be a lot of work. It's probably,
But somehow it's
that's probably how they keep some of their costs down, because they're not having to pay for a physics engine.
But still,
license
I
one.
can only imagine that a lot of their I feel like there would be some kind of expedience to the process.
Yeah.
That would eventually make it worth it.
apparently it goes quick enough for them because they can pump out a new episode every couple months.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think that one of the arguments with that, some people would be like, well, I feel like I waited a year for the rest of X
Yeah,
series.
I usually just wait till the season's over to play them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's a great Guardians of the Galaxy story. Scott Porter from Friday Night Lights does the voice of Star-Lord. I think he's the only close to famous person that's in it. But it's it definitely it feels like those characters for sure. They actually pull in some of the movie thematic type stuff where they have an ELO song. They put "You Make My Dreams Come True" in there. There's an actual soundtrack source music.
That's cool.
In the game. So they brought that part into it, and I think it all fits really well. And
that costs a lot. That's why they couldn't get a new engine.
That's fair. But it so it kind of
Royalties,
feels
man.
like it's coming out of the vein of the movies, which is great, but it also exists in its own kind of universe as well. Because it's not, I don't even necessarily think it's following any real comics, and it's not following the movies whatsoever. It's just kind of got the aesthetics from the movie, and they're taking the thing and going their own way with it.
Right.
I got about 90 minutes out of this first episode. It wasn't particularly long. The choices that you make seem pretty clear cut, especially looking at my stats at the end of the episode. There weren't a lot of things that were more divided down the middle like you would see in The Walking Dead. Because The Walking Dead was really interesting where it's not very black and white.
Not
It
at all.
definitely
No.
feels shades of gray, and I don't think they've gotten there with Guardians of the Galaxy yet, which is something I noticed that happens a lot in their first episode, and then it gets better as they go on. So it's pretty boilerplate, There's not a lot new with it. I guess you get to, there's a little bit of a control as you're exploring rooms. Star-Lord's got his rocket boots, so he can kind of go up different levels, like with his rocket boots, but it's really not used to any, like it could have just been a staircase, essentially.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. Like I said, it's got a bit of that jank to it. It runs smoothly now, but the animation and how things interact with each other still doesn't feel great with it. So I think they got to make a new engine. They got to figure something out with that.
Yeah.
But no, if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, I think you can't go wrong for a $5 shot, and then, or you could just wait, and I'm sure by the time episode 4 is out, you're going to be able to pick it up for $7.49, like you can with the rest of the series, because that always happens. So, no, it's good. It's worth checking out if you like Guardians. It's worth checking out if you like Telltale. If you don't like Telltale games, there's nothing new here for you. It's just Guardians. So, you know,
cool.
It's pretty standard.
Right on. All right, let's talk about WonderBoy, the Dragon's Trap.
Cool.
Yes.
More stuff I can't talk about.
So, all right, this originally came out on Sega Master System. It was WonderBoy 3, the Dragon's Trap, which came out, I think came out in 89 was when this came out. So this is a game that's pretty freaking old.
So, okay, just so we know, this is the WonderBoy series, was what it started out as in Japan. It also became the Monster World series in other areas. It also was known, there's ports of certain games in it called Adventure Island and Monica and Bikuriman World and Dragon's Curse and the Dynastic Hero. These are all the same series of games.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think for the next sequel or whatever, they should combine all of those names into one title.
Monster World : WonderBoy : the Dynastic Hero :
the game.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is an old game, 8-bit. It is no longer 8-bit, but you can flip-flop between 8-bit and the new updated graphics. The updated graphics are gorgeous.
It is an emulated version of the Master System game with the updated visuals laid over top of it.
It's kind of nuts.
It looks
fantastic. Beautiful. It's like this, and everybody online, like all the other reviews I read about it, have all said the same thing, that this sets the bar for how to do remakes. If you're gonna do a remake, it needs to look like this. And you know what? Yeah, this would get me to play more of those remakes for sure.
For anyone who hasn't played a WonderBoy game or a Monster World game, it's
side-scroller.
It's a side-scrolling platformer with, you know, it's pretty Mario-like. It's kind of Castlevania-ish.
It's very Metroidvania-ish in terms of that. Roguelike, you die, you kind of start over.
WonderBoy-ish.
In this case, when you start as the male or female character,
WonderBoy or WonderGirl.
Yeah. You can go, and when you kill a dragon, one of the dragon bosses, you get morphed into one of the other types of characters. So there's a mouse character who can climb walls that are special types of walls. There's a lizard character who can shoot fireballs. I don't know if he has any other attributes.
I don't think so.
There is a fish character
who can
that swims better, and then there's
sense.
a lion character, I believe, and I haven't actually unlocked him yet.
He's the bravest.
Yeah, he's the bravest. He shows no fear at all. I've gotten the fish character. I've killed 3 dragons at this point.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
So, the game is hard as balls.
It's really hard.
like super hard. Like we thought Zelda and Dark Souls were hard. This is hard.
What?
Like it's not forgiving at all. Like because it plays like it's 8-bit, version still, because like Alex said, it's emulating.
Which really throws me, considering sometimes you get hit in an 8-bit game and you go into like invulnerable frames, like
when you're flashing.
Yeah, and when that happens to you in this game, and these monsters can weirdly like combo you in a way that you just stay in that and can't move away from
Specifically the dragons. So for instance, I fought the toxic dragon last night in order to get fish form, and the toxic dragon just kept shooting his toxic sludge at me, and he like continuously spews it out. And if
And
you
it just
get
like
hit,
pushes you to the edge of
pushes
the
you
screen.
to the side of the screen, and it just keeps hitting you, and you can't move. Like you're stuck.
Yeah.
It retains all of its old 8-bit version mechanics in that respect, as well as like your field of attack is very limited.
Super limited. And even when you're the lizard that's firing fireballs, when you press the button to fire a second fireball, the first one disappears.
Yeah. So it like cancels out the first one. You can't just like rapid fire fireballs.
Well, that's annoying.
Yeah,
So-
it's rough because there are many
Also
times
doesn't make much sense.
where I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna take 2 hits, and then I try to get 2 hits on him real quick, and I end up just getting 1, and then I get hit myself. So that it's really quirky. Like it feels
It plays like an 8-bit game. It plays like a classic NES Master System, like any of those older games where like it wasn't forgiving because they didn't have the engine and the mechanics and the capabilities they do now. You know, it just like, I don't know how to describe it. It just plays like those old games. So
Yeah.
it has a slightly nostalgic level of difficulty, but then at the same time it looks incredible, and it's still fun even though it's hard.
yeah.
They also updated all the music and sound effects, so you have really awesome music and sound effects that when you can flip to the 8-bit graphics on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
It also changes the music and sound effects back to the old version, which is kind of cool. So there's that.
Well, actually, no, you can do it individually. So you can play with the score is like the instrumental score is fucking awesome.
It is really good.
You can flip back and forth between those and kind of hear how they interpreted it with actual instruments, and it sounds great. Like they did a really cool job with that. But then, so you can make it so that you're listening to the new score with the old graphics or vice versa, which is fun. There's like a gallery that you can go through that has artwork and also some videos of them like doing the score and all that kinds of stuff. So that's pretty cool. It was $20 on Switch. It's also on PS4 and Xbox and PC, I believe.
We both played it on Switch.
We did.
So we should disclose that. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I mean, it's surprising how difficult it is, but still feels pretty natural. It's just like you can't. The biggest complaint I have in playing it is that I'm not able to do things as fast as I want to do them. Like if I'm moving and attacking at the same time, like it's not as easy as like.
Did you play like handheld mode most of the time with the Joy-Cons? That's probably why.
No,
no,
I mean,
it's just like just think back to. I'm thinking back to like playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's very easy to like play Symphony of the Night, which is again like kind of an updated version of like a classic, but using newer mechanics. So like as you're moving along, you're able to attack at the same time, and like your weapons have different lengths to them that you can swap between. So like being able to like move and attack something that's further out from you is like beneficial because then you don't risk getting damaged yourself. This game, you don't have the distance of some of these weapons. So like you've got to run right up on stuff to hit it and kill it. It's that collision mechanic of like
hitbox, like
the hitbox. The hitbox is very tight. Like you have to be right up on the enemy to kill it.
And the dragon heads are the only part that are vulnerable to hits.
Right.
So you have to like.
And if you touch the dragon in any way, shape, or form, you get damaged. And so it's very. You have to be very accurate and calculated. Like you can't just. Like think again to Sonic, how you could like run through Sonic, and like if you knew where the platforms were, you could jump and just keep running through Sonic and make sure like you nail every platform to get across the chasm that you're trying to cross. In this, like the jumping mechanism and the movement aren't as tuned as that, so you have to kind of calculate each of your moves as you're doing them. Not to mention like there are enemies like the flowers that spit fireballs that you kind of have to pay attention to, because if you're not paying attention to them, they will hit you, and you can block their fireballs with your shield automatically, but you have to kind of like time your movements and things so that they're not attacking you. I don't know. I just said a lot of words right there. I hope
was like, where am I?
You looked like you zoned out, so
what's going on?
Felt like I should stop talking.
All of the passwords from the original game work as well.
I don't even know what the passwords do.
So you can take those passwords and go back to the you can start a new save file and input a password to start you at that point in the sequence. You'll have the same amount of coins. You'll have the same amount of dragons completed. And you'll have the same equipment unlocked from what you've purchased.
Okay. But it starts you over?
But and it doesn't start you over. It just kind of...
It's a save game password system.
Kind of. Because there's also save files.
So
it's really strange.
I don't even know when it saves or what it... Like, I think
every
time I pick it up, I just play.
Wherever you end, actually.
Yeah.
But it'll kick you back to the town. So it doesn't save you where you're at. But if you say you go on a journey when you have 3 potions and then you go ahead and get killed twice, so it uses 2 of your potions, and then you're like, all right, like I did earlier, I'm like, fuck this shit. So I turned it off, and then I came back to it, and it started me back at the town with 1 potion. And I was like, ugh. But it also, and the passwords give you the amount of hearts that you've unlocked as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But
yeah,
and the interesting thing is that as you said, in terms of the Metroid style gameplay here, with each of the forms that you unlock with each dragon, you can access different parts of the world.
Yep.
And there's even points in time where you can cycle back through the characters that you've been. Have you found that yet?
No.
So there's a certain room that you can go into that will allow you to jump on a platform and go back to the other ones in case you've missed things.
That's cool.
And you can go back and run through and
right, because the whole world is open for you to go wherever.
Yeah.
Well, I would like a map. That's like...
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of
it's
a
an
killer.
old game. You're supposed to draw your own map.
No, I know.
There's a bunch of old maps on game FAQs if you're so inclined for WonderBoy 3 on the Sega Master System.
I'd like to know where I'm going,
yeah.
Or like which areas I've been to and how to get back there for that particular purpose of like rerunning through an area so with a different character type to see if there's things I can find.
Yeah, if you missed anything.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard to navigate those things if you don't really remember where you're going.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Remembering where there's like water there, so maybe the fish man can do stuff.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I agree. But it's good. I've never played a WonderBoy game before, and it was fun to go back and experience some of it.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm ever going to beat it because, shit, this game is fucking hard.
It's seriously hard, man.
Like, it's really difficult.
I love the art style.
I feel like Brian's going to pick it up and be like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
This game is not good.
This wasn't as difficult as the first time I used a hoop and stick.
No, I'm terrible at all those old school games, so I'd probably not get anywhere in it.
You never know.
I think
I find Shovel Knight, which is like a throwback to that stuff, to be very difficult.
You'd be in the same bucket as us because I'm not good at Shovel Knight either. But
I feel like I've gotten better at this though, playing it. But again, it's like it's just figuring out the timing.
I think getting over the intimidation of it for
yawn.
me was just kind of,
yeah,
but
That's the biggest factor going for. I mean, not the same kind of game, but as far as difficult games go, like Bloodborne and stuff, intimidation is like how they get you the most.
Yeah, knowing that you're just going to mess up a lot, I think you can get through WonderBoy and Bloodborne. Like, you'll learn the game.
Yeah.
You'll get better at it.
It's worth $20, but if you're weary about it, just wait because it'll probably go on sale.
Yeah.
But it's still fun.
And it's available everywhere, like I said. You don't
everywhere.
It'll
Switch.
probably go on sale on other platforms before it goes on sale on Switch.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know if they'll ever have sales at this point.
Nintendo does do a lot. They were doing a lot of sales on Wii U and 3DS, so they will eventually get to some sales. But
probably not till at least fall.
Yeah, that would be a good time for them to have a first.
More like a Black Friday sale.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, that's WonderBoy. We're down to clown with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's enjoyable. If you have a system that you play it on, let us know what you think.
If you play any games,
Any
and
games
you
at
want
all,
to
you
tell
wanna
us
talk
what
about
you
it.
think of them.
Talk about it with us.
Yeah.
We love it.
If you
We'd
don't
love-
want to talk about games, we might still talk to you.
We'd love to have you talk about it here on Twitch with us at twitch.tv/MidwestGameNerds every other Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, like this weirdo in the chat room
Asking us
who-
about
TV shows. You want us to know about TV shows. And he's like, have you seen South Park? And I wanted to be like, yeah, I've fucking seen South Park.
That's good.
I was in like 4th grade when South Park started. I remember that. Everybody had a Cartman t-shirt.
It was like mind-blowing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kenny dies every time.
I can't say that I've ever finished an episode of South Park.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I just never really watched it. Nick's told me countless times to watch the Tron one.
There's a Tron
there's,
one?
There,
it's about Facebook, but also Tron or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
The Kanye West episode's really good too.
I always heard about the Tom Cruise one.
Tom Cruise is good. There's a lot of good episodes of South
Yeah.
Park. But yeah, this weirdo in the chat room was all like, have you seen South Park? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
He followed us on Twitch, so thanks, guy.
Thanks,
Yeah.
D Jackson 7581. But I don't
Sorry,
know why
John's
you wanted
calling you weird.
I mean, we're a game. We want to talk about games. I don't want
Yeah.
to talk about TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his initial questions made sense because he was like,
it started
have
with
you
the
watched
G4.
G4? And I was like, yeah, back in the day, big fans of Attack of the Show. And he was like, have you watched True TV? And I was like, not much True TV.
that
No.
was- when he asked about True TV, I was like, this guy just must be trolling. And
he's like, have
I
you
was-
watched Hack My Life on True TV? And I said, is that with Brian Brushwood? Because I thought Brian Brushwood
he's
had
got
some
a
like
different one.
life hack
It's like decoding.
something.
I don't know.
It's something like that. But
Yeah.
he said Hack My Life is hosted by Kevin Pereira, which makes sense in
He's
the
a G4
context
guy.
of games because Kevin Pereira was G4 Attack of the Show.
See, I don't even remember any of that.
Anyway,
So, but yeah, it was just kind of.
come join us on Twitch. You can be in the room seeing who's trolling us.
And I'll talk shit about you
Yeah.
at the end of the episode. Like I did it about the douchebag last episode who was
Yeah,
being,
but
we
he
don't
was
have to talk
actually-
about
he
that
was
guy.
being a huge douchebag.
Next episode,
I don't even know what comes out next.
we've got Puyo Puyo Tetris on Tuesday, which I may or may not pick up. We've got Mario Kart on Friday, which I assume both of you are probably picking up.
Yes,
That might
I
be
don't
what
mean
we
to
touch
spring
on.
you on this now, but there's a very good chance I can't be on the next episode.
It's all right. We'll find someone to replace.
Well, that
you.
sucks because you won't get to talk about Prey either because I'm going to rent it and play it before the next episode as well.
I forgot that was even coming
Yeah,
out.
it comes out May 5th, and our next episode
Well,
is May 7th.
I mean, we'll talk about this when we're done recording.
Yes, Inside Baseball. Anyway, those are things that might come up next episode.
Yeah. So while you're listening or even watching along in the next episode or this one, who knows? Why not head over to MidwestPodcastNetwork.com/support. Check out all the ways you can support us. We can, send you some T-shirts and hoodies and koozies. You can also hit the donate button if you don't feel like actually buying anything and you just want to give us money because you like what we do. That would be sweet. Check out the Amazon affiliate link. All of the Amazon shopping you do, if you use that link, some of that money comes to us. That is pretty cool because it doesn't cost you anything extra. Don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher like iTunes, Stitcher Radio, what was the other one? TuneIn Radio, and Google Play Podcasts. Do that, rate and review us so that we can climb the charts so more people notice us because we would like to be noticed more.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to send us feedback. We love feedback. If you have been listening since the beginning of the episode, we read back an email from Tom. And it took us 2 episodes to do it, but we read it back. And we did it because we appreciate feedback and we like talking to you guys. So send feedback to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com or feel free to hit us up on Twitter at MGN Podcast. Don't forget to add us on Instagram at Midwest Game Nerds. And don't forget to check out the other shows on the network like Horror Movie Yearbook. They're the only current one that's running because we're still waiting for Preacher to start back up and Westworld, which is going to be probably another year out, I would assume.
I still have plans to throw things in the Film Nerds feed, but I haven't gotten around to it. I've just been busy. They just dropped their episode on 2005 on Horror Movie Yearbook. They talk about horror movies such as The Descent, The Devil's Rejects, and The Exorcism of Emily Rose. So
that'll be
a
good episode. I haven't listened to it yet, but I really like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I think it's a fantastic movie, and I have a feeling that both of those guys really like The Devil's Rejects, though I've never heard them actually talk.
I think it might be the only Rob Zombie that Willie respects in some form.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I have seen that. I don't think I've seen the other two movies.
So yeah, if you like horror movies, check out Horror Movie Yearbook.
Even
Those
if you
dudes are our
don't
buddies.
like horror movies,
They're just
Willie
really
and Tim
funny.
will make
Especially
you
Tim. He's
entertained
really funny.
regardless.
Yeah, they're super funny to listen to. And
No,
also,
Willie's funny too.
if we don't give you enough of the video game fix you're looking for, check out the Replay podcast. Those dudes are out in Australia, and they're awesome. They are super funny
I listen
to listen
to them now.
And they have cool accents, which we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to cover more of the competitive gaming stuff, which we don't because we're not really into that. But
We're good compliments to each
yeah,
other.
and they're just funny dudes, and I appreciate the fact that they listen to our podcast.
And they have cool accents.
Yeah,
just like
true.
John said.
Yep.
But
So check them out as well.
We have cool Midwestern accents.
Yeah, we say
We
things
just don't.
like ass.
Yeah, apples.
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 Everything's nasal. Although Brian's always nasal anyways.
Yes.
Apples.
Brian has the
nasal and monotone.
Yeah.
nasal and monotone.
His vocal cords still generate the same amount of sound as ours, but his mouth is just not big enough for them
Right,
to
for it
all
to
fit.
force
so
all
it's
that
got to
out.
come up through the.
Nick's going to love this.
Yeah, he is.
Anyways, thanks again for listening along. We really appreciate it. Please check back with us next time. If you have any suggestions of things you'd like to hear for the future, do send them to us. We love hearing that sort of stuff. Other than that, thanks again. Peace out.